right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, and it's powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. Bob Pompeani, Tim Benz with you tonight at 412-575-2600. That's the number of the Bordas & Bordas hotline. Tweet us at KDPomp, at TimBenzPGH, and we will get to the basketball conversation because there's a lot to talk about. Great news for Pitt and Duquesne both tonight. We'll have that momentarily, but first we're going to begin with the Penguins, who won last night impressively with Vegas 4-3. And boy, Jim Rutherford's acquisitions continue to come up big for him, and specifically Dominic Cahoon, who got a power play goal, now has 10 goals, and Brandon Tanev. Tim Benz of Trib Live and the DVE pregame show for the Steelers is here. And Tim, I want to get your take on just Jim Rutherford's moves. Alex Galchenyuk is one thing that hasn't worked all that well, but he's, dating back to last year, put some pieces in place. Sprong for Pedersen, I think that's a win. Cahoon for Mata, that's a win. And if you look at Brandon Tanev, people were critical of him. He was willing to pay the money and the term to bring a guy who provides energy, and I think we've seen that.
Yeah, now it's gone from the term was too long for Tanev to why didn't they sign him for longer? I mean, that's what he's turned into very quickly, and very appropriately, I think, deserving of the praise as well, because the speed and the tenacious forecheck that he brings, the hustle, and my goodness, did he get up to speed fast in that great pass from Chris Letang against the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the hyperbole was flowing from Jim Rutherford tonight on 105.9 The X. If you listen to the GMJR show, you brought up Pedersen. He said he and Marino, Bob, could be a defense pair for the Pittsburgh Penguins for 10 to 15 years. I just take two healthy defensemen on the blue line together for the next 4 months with the way things have gone for injury, but they've both been very good. He also, to your point about acquisitions, and this is the big thing that I took away from GMJR's show tonight on the X, was that he said because the team is playing as well as it is, when asked about Jake Gensel and replacing him, he essentially said that he's inclined to make a deal because the team is playing well. And I'm kind of putting words in his mouth, but it sure made it sound like that there was a reward there that they deserve for their general manager to go out there and try to fill this massive hole that exists with Jake Gensel being out of the lineup. Someone he called tonight the most underappreciated big star in hockey, and I don't know that he's wrong.
I don't know that he's wrong either. Thing is, though, they're plugging and playing a lot of guys in, and right now, even without Gensel and Crosby, and their numbers without Crosby are ridiculous, but it goes to show you the depth they have. They still do need high-end scoring, and that, I think Jim Rutherford has always operated that way. If his team shows him that they have played well enough, he'll go out and make a move to give them a chance. He's always used that expression to me, give them a chance.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have a chance without Jake Gensel, and I think he knows that.
Right.
They might have a chance to make the playoffs, but I think that would even be a stretch without Jake Gensel. So he wants to give them a chance, and one name that's been thrown around a little bit here is Ricard Raquel from the Anaheim Ducks, who's got 2 years left and has been a 30-goal scorer in the league a couple times. So he's got a pedigree.
He doesn't make all that much comparatively when you look at some of these other guys. Plus, he's not just a rental player, although they may want to go rental player because, they take on salary. When Gensel gets back next year, all of a sudden now these numbers have to be crunched. I don't know if you want another $6 million a year player like Brandon.
He's a little less than that. He's 3.9, I believe, 3.93.
Raquel, yeah.
So that's at least encouraging, and he's a big guy. I guess you could play him up front with either Malkin or Crosby if you wanted to. And Brian Murray is somebody that has made a deal with Jim Rutherford many times in the past. Seth Rorba from the Trib, we were talking about this tonight on our podcast. He made a great point. You like to track deals that make sense between the general managers and their relationships as much as you think it might make sense for the cap and the positions involved. And these two guys have dealt quite a bit during his time in Pittsburgh.
And Rutherford's had his share of success against them, and also the Edmonton Oilers, where you see John Marino come in and become one of the best players on the blue line for a 6th-round draft pick. That's one of the trades that we didn't talk about that he's made. And this team is just playing extremely well. Tristan Jarry, as good as any goaltender in the game. He gets the All-Star opportunity because Korpisalo goes out, but he deserves it. I mean, what can you say? Even last night, I mean, he gave up 3 goals, but he made some big saves at big time.
Would you play Murray against either of the two West Coast? I would.
You got to.
When I was talking to Seth, he made it sound like he was adamant that Jarry would get both starts. I would play Murray, especially because Murray was pretty good in his last outing. And again, the best chance, give the guy, this would be a coaching decision, not a general manager's decision, but Do you feel right now their best chance to win another cup is Jari, or is it Matt Murray?
I think at this point it's undetermined. I think if Jari continues to play this way, they'll just keep riding him. I think that's what Mike Sullivan did when Fleury and Murray were here, right? It wasn't as if if you know, in some of those playoff games, he was not at all opposed to getting rid of somebody if someone else is hot.
Ty Conklin displaced Marc-Andre Fleury at one point, too.
That's the point.
Like, that's something we have to keep in mind. And Jari's done great, and I'm really happy that he's an all-star. He's deserving. He's leading the NHL in just about every major goaltending category. Personally, I still think that this team's playoff future will probably lie with Matt Murray.
Well, if Jari continues to play this way, I don't know that that'll ever come to be. At some point, he's going to have a regression. At some point, Murray will play, and when he plays, the best advice you can give him is play well. Get in there and do what you have to do and force more competition here. We're going to take a break. It's 412-575-2600. When we come back, Pitt highlights a big win of all places at the Dean Dome, and Duquesne 3-0 in Atlantic 10 play. They rout St. Joseph's tonight. We got that all and more. And your calls coming up next right here on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.